Yes. Hail, hail to all the ionized. Welcome, welcome. Yes, this is the awake from the dream. Yes, with I Auset Aten Ra. So today I want to expound a little bit further on universal laws and some fundamental truths. I did a topic on this prior, and now I want to expound a little more and to clarify things a little bit clearer. So we want to be on a mission to wiping the mind slate clean from all defilements. This is the mission that all the ionized need to be on. And so the question is, are you going to purify your mind? We need to start now practicing stillness. I know I did said that I was going to start the 30 days of stillness on live, but I've been having a lot of problems with the live. So all goes well. I will begin the live in the morning on starting the 30 days. I did start with the family doing the stillness and mind purity meditations, but I haven't been able to do it on the live yet. So hopefully all goes well in the morning. I will start my first live for 30 days at least. Um, or we will just start with 30 days and see how it goes. Yeah, so we want to focusing on stillness, still in the mind, centering ourselves in our what we call the heart space, into the void. Really, it's in the void in the center of the chest. Um, this we have a self right here. All right. And so, what are fundamental truths? That's what I'm going to talk about today. So, welcome and thank you for joining. Um, my name is Auset Aten Ra. All right. So, I am on from the lineage of the primordial light, the fragmented fractal state, the feminine, so in the fragmented state we have the feminine principle, we have the masculine principle, we have the void principles, we have the light principles. So that's in the fragmented state, and I am from the principle of the neutron self, which is the feminine. All right, that's my this self here animating this body. That's from the lineage. Alrighty. So no more secrets, no more lies. All things hidden will be made known. All things done in secret will be revealed. All things created must be destroyed. This is the age of truth, and it's time for self-responsible authority. Resist temptation and be vigilant. No fear. Yes, because self-triumphant over consciousness, the ego, because this is the battle that we are fighting right now. The consciousness have been fighting against itself. And now the self must be triumphant over the consciousness. This is the dual consciousness, the sleeping, dreaming consciousness. right? That everybody in the world is worshiping, that's telling you wrong things. And that's why you are doing all the crazy things that you are doing. So self will triumphant over the ego, the consciousness. Good triumphant over evil. Self-truth triumphant over ignorance. The real triumphant over the dream. Victory, 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 victory. All is myself, and it is I playing all these roles. This is the I, Self Supreme One, True Self, unmanifest. I alone exist. I bow to all the I and I's in self, in light, and in truth. Victory, victory. Yes, I. So I want to give honor and reverence to all the I and I's. Yeah. I want to give honor and reverence to the I, one true pure self. Hail, hail to the I, the primordial self, the I, the one true self, the I that has no name, that can't be explained, right? Hail, hail to all the I and I's, the primordial light, the one true light, the transparent light, the light without beginning nor end. Hail, hail to all the I and I's in alignment to restore balance. The I, victory, victory. I am victorious. I am triumphant. All is myself, and I alone exist. I dissolve my ego, and I dissolve all my ego false self. I am free from my imaginary bondage. I dissolve this dream. I dissolve this dream, and I return to my ultimate true state. Victory, victory. Victory, victory. Yes, I. So, are you tired of this evil behavior of human beings? Are you tired of the ego false self spreading propaganda and the lies from government corporation and their warmongering ways? Because as you see now, they're getting ready to fight their wars. They right now they're fighting the disease wars, germ warfare. They're doing the weather warfare. They're doing a lot of things fighting weather warfare in the Caribbean right now. They are doing a lot of things fighting weather warfare with the Caribbean islands because they want to intimidate all the INIs, because they know they're losing their power, and all the ego false selves, still trying to enslave ones, and they don't want to live self-sufficiently, and they don't want to live in harmony and balance. They're so delusional. But this old way of existing into this ego is coming to an end, and they're fighting. This is a fight they're fighting because they're very scared right now. They're fighting to hold on to their dream and delusionary ideas. So they're going crazy in their minds. They are crazy right now. They're going insane in their minds right now. So this is why they're acting out of fear and desperation, and they will be defeated. Ego, you will be defeated. All the I ego clones, all the I ego false selves, you will be defeated. Because your age of ruling I under tyranny, ignorance is over. You hear me? You have no power over the INIs. Yeah, there's a time for everything, and your time is over. It is time now for moving in harmony and balance. This is the reason why we want to turn our awareness We want to turn our awareness to universal laws, universal principles, and fundamental truths that we all sign a contract to abide by. And we have violated all of these principles that governs and hold this creation into harmony and equanimity. And so it's time for us to be focused on that and be moving in that awareness, moving in that knowing, and moving in that beingness. All right? Yeah, because before there were man-made laws, there were universal laws and fundamental truths that governs this illusionary world, and we have forgotten ourselves. We have forgotten these universal laws and fundamental truths, and now is a time when we must return back to our core. All right, and so this is also my petition. Yeah, because I am commanding that an end to our government rulership, to be living and abiding by universal laws, and be imbibing fundamental truths so that we can see things as they are and live in equanimity with all of the I and I selves, and with our own mind. We can create equanimity within our body universe, because remember that this body is a micro universe. We must maintain our creation into this body. Whatever we are doing is to create equanimity, maintain purity and peace of mind within this body. This is the mission that all the INIs need to be on. Yeah. And so these universal laws and fundamental truths applies to all beings in all state of existence, and no one is exempt from it. Not like these man-made laws that all of these politicians and oligarchs, they claim in immunity and impunity. No more. That age is over. Yeah, it is crumbling right now. And all the hidden ones, your face will be revealed. Yes. So I am going to talk on these 10 um, universal laws and about 13 fundamental truths. I mean, there are more, but these are the fundamental one that I feel like are the most important one for us. All right. So we have the law of impermanence, the law of equanimity. In my last video, I did talk a lot about the law of impermanence. In this video, I am going to touch on all of these universal laws, right? The law of equanimity, law of duality, the law of destiny and self-responsibility, the law of correspondence, the law of cause and effect, the law of sensation, the law of vibration, the law of creation, and the law of self. All right. And so no one can claim immunity and can claim impunity, because everyone will be judged by their action, because you can only be judged by your own action. And so you have to make mend. Everyone have to take self-responsibility. You are making the actions. You are here. You must take self-responsibility. Before you came in here, you wrote out your destiny. You would follow the laws of these universal laws, these universal principles, and all of these fundamental truths, which you knew already, but now you have forgotten, and it's time to come back to remembrance. Victory, victory. The I will be victorious on the I mission. Universal laws of nature. Universal law of nature are fundamental, consistent principles governing the physical universe, holding true across time and space, from galaxies to atoms. All right, it governs the visible and the invisible. All right, um, the law of cause and effects is says that every cause have its effect, every effect have its cause, right? Nothing happens by chance, and all actions have consequences. What are the effects of your action? What actions are you taking? Are you participating? You know what I'm saying? So we have to be mindful and be aware of all our actions, right? And things that we are doing. All right. Are you correcting your own behavior? All actions must be in balance. All of your actions, every action that you take, it must move in balance and harmony with the I pure self. You must take self responsibility of all your actions and reactions. No one can save you from your sins. You must stop sinning. You must do the work to maintain an equanimous mind to avoid karma and harmful effects. All right, this is what the law of cause and effect saying, right? you you're making the action, there is a reaction. This is why you have to first be equanimous in your mind, so that every action that you take, you're balancing out. You want to be creators. Many ones, they want to be gods, and they want to be, all of these creators. But before you can get to certain level of creation, you must first learn to balance, have equanimity in your mind, because otherwise everything that you create is going to be chaos. And this is what we see in the world. Everyone is claiming, oh, I am God, I am God. But as you see, God himself doesn't know how to make a balanced creation. And so everyone who's claiming this, they themselves are not making balanced creation, because you know they have no equanimity within them, within their mind. And this is the first thing to master creation. If you want to be a master creator, then you must first be a master of yourself. This little universe that you are, you have to be creating harmony within this universe, the body first. So within your mind, you must have equanimity. All right, the law of vibration says nothing rests. Everything moves, everything vibrates, everything is in constant motion. What frequency are you vibrating at? I'm asking. Be aware, be mindful of your vibrations, so that you can be in harmony, right? It's time to maintain a equanimous and harmonic vibration, all right? Because you don't want these chaotic vibrations. You want your vibration to be at a balanced level, a harmonic level. And what we're having in the world is that we're having a lot of in inharmonic vibrations, and ones are just vibrating on a disharmonic way. And this is what we're having. We are vibrational beings, all right? And so we're the whole entire, what we call universe, the self, is reading the vibrations, and the mind is interpreting these vibrations. And so we need to spend more time in stillness, so that we can be master of our own vibrations, and our vibration will be in harmony and equanimous, so that we are all co-creating together, so that we can make beautiful music, a symphony. you know so when we are all vibrating in a harmonic way, then we're going to have a beautiful creation, because remember that we are fractal selves, and we are all here co-creating. But everybody is off in their ego, and nobody is listening to the self, aligning, connecting in the void, in the center of your chest. and aligning so that you can be in you can be in a harmonic creation with all of your other selves. We're making music together, we are co-creating together. But what are you doing? You're off on your ego's journey and say, oh, I can do whatever I want. No, you cannot, because then it cannot be harmonic with all your other selves. You are a disharmonic. We're playing beautiful music, and here you coming in and disturbing our music. Your frequency is horrible. You know what I'm saying? And so you need to spend the time within your body. Stop going outside of the body to go do all this nonsense. Stay in the body, and this is the universe that you are. And create here harmonic frequencies. Bring your vibration in harmony and equanimity. Yes. And follow this law of vibration to vibration in equanimity and harmonic vibration, because you're co-creating with all your other self. The law of sensation. This is a very big problem that we're having with the law of sensation, because this world is myriads of frequencies and vibrations, right? And so the self is immersed into all of these frequencies and vibration. The mind is interpreting it, and all of these sensations we in the body we are feeling. So in the body is interpreting these as these sensations that we are feeling, and all kind of sensation are rising and they are passing away. And guess what? Some sensations are pleasant and some are very unpleasant, but we go attach and to the pleasant sensation, and we hate the unpleasant ones, and we don't accept that it is a part of the journey. But and come to the knowing that they're rising and passing away, that they're not permanent, they are impermanent. So we have to just observe it and see what it is, and so because we're craving the pleasant sensations. I know many ones are become addicted to these pleasant sensations, and so they start looking in the world to find things in the world that will bring that pleasant sensation. And this is why you see so many ones have a lot of bad habits, drugs and alcohol, drinking and alcoholic and sex addict and all kind of crazy addicts in the world, because the ionized have grown attached to these sensations and is constantly craving it, and now you become an addict, right? But remember that all sensations are rising and passing away. So we just have to endure, see things as they are, and endure the unpleasant sensation. I know it's not gonna last ever. Like I said, for I don't even know how many years now, constantly, I am enduring a lot of unpleasant sensation from all the ionized that we call in this world demons, devils, Satan. Who are the monsters? The monsters ourselves. When they're in the human, when you're in the human, right? When the self is in the human body, and you're in here, you do a lot of horrible things. Now, when you leave out of the body and you never clean the mind slate, you go back into that vibrational realm, where all of ourselves are dwell in that dream state, and we go back into that dream state, because this dream is a dream in the physical, and that dream is the dream where it's non-physical. And so once we leave from this physical dream, where we're manifesting in the body, and you never clean your mind slate and you never live a balanced life, you become demons, and you become monsters. Yeah, these are the human beings that become like this. And they live among the human, the human beings, and that's who they have attachment to. Or if they see you have light, they come and attach to you. And so one other thing is that, like, for myself, I'm constantly hated it, when they all come and think that they can steal my is the light and imprison me, because they're all seeking light. And so um they do a lot of crazy things. They come, they shoot missiles, magnetic missiles at I, magnetic bombs at I. They beat up in this head. They do a lot of crazy things. They run through my foot. You can't imagine the plethora of things. They come into my throat. They spit up on me. They do a lot of all kind of things into this body to make it sick. You know, they are doing a lot of crazy stuff, and it's sometimes it is just unbearable. But what I learned, that just like when I am giving birth, as a mother, giving birth, the process of giving birth is very painful. It's very painful. But after the birth is over, you forget about that pain. And so this is the process that I am going through right now. So I accept it as the process of moving from duality to non-duality, from ignorance to true self-knowledge, and all of these ones are coming here and they're learning from I. All the things that I learned, they're also learning it, from I, because I am coming into more and more truth within the I self, because I is illuminated. And so when I speak, they all come around I and they come to listen to I, because if you in this body and you didn't do all the right things um to to clean your mind slate and to maintain equanimity, you have to do it when you go out of this body. And so it is much easier to do it when you're in the body than when you're not in the body. So I would advise all the ionized to do it. So when you leave out of this body, your mind slate is clean. You have lived a balanced and equanimous life. You know what I'm saying? And you did not hold attachment, you know, to all the sensations and experience in the world. You live with equanimity. All right. So because I was lamenting, I'm tired of this horrible experience, but now I am more accepting of it, and I'm just going through the process of it, and just maintaining equanimity within the I mind, because it is also um, a horrible experience for the I self too, but the I self is not complaining, so I just have to play my role, and and just whatever it is that I need to command of them, and to give specific instruction on what I need to them to do, and that's what I'm doing. But so I am taking more command instead of, and I do tell them sometimes, stop what you're doing, but I am not like I accept. I'm not like fighting against the process. I accept the process, and it is my destiny. And so yeah, so it gives you, when you learn the laws, these universal laws and these fundamental truth, it gives you a new perspective of how you deal with life, the circumstances, and all the things. So once the self is bringing these awareness to I, then I am looking at things in a more equanimous way. All right, so the law of sensation says, do not get attached, you know to all of the different sensation, because it will develop into cravings and addiction. And this is what we have in the world, that all these ones, They want, and they want this, and then they never satisfy, and they want that, and they get that, and then they want the next thing. And you listen to all of these scientists and technocrats and so-called millionaire, billionaire, trillionaire. They want and want, and they want the whole world for them to own it and everyone to be slaves. And you are here working for them, and they just sit and do a lot of crazy things. Yeah. So they have this desire of wanting and craving is it's a never ending pit. So you want to get out of this bad habit, so you're not falling into this pit of wanting desires. Yeah. So that you can be happy and not be evil like these crazy evil human beings that are doing all these crazy things, and all these evil gods who are doing all these crazy things. So the gods is our, remember yourself, that is not wearing the human body. All right. So there's no, I call all of them gods, whatever they call them, the angels, archangels, aliens. Yeah, all of them. They are all under the category of gods because they're all delusionals. Of course, we have some selves who have mastered themselves and they are illuminated, but they are also wearing the consciousness like I am, you know, and they return back to their true nature of self. So God means that the self is sleeping, dreaming, and in ignorance. All right, know this truth. All right. So the law of sensation say, right, do not get attached to all of this, all your desires and all the sensation that arise from the world and all the experience. All right. All sensation and experience are temporary exploration. After after our visit, we must return home to the I ultimate true state. You must always, that's when you learn the laws, universal laws, you know that you're a visitor here inside of this dream, so you're not going to hold attachment to the dream things, right? You're just here experiencing this, and it's okay, that's how that is. I get it. It's a part of the nature of this experience. I accept that, and then you make the balanced decision that you need to make for equanimity. Remain equanimous throughout all sensation, and don't get bent out of shape with disappointment or develop addictions to any sensations. All right, just remain equanimous. All right, comes what may. Stay balanced. Stay in stillness. Don't let any experience disturb your peace. Now make the appropriate decision without getting your feelings involved. Right? Maintain balance and see what is the best thing, the equanimous thing that needs to be done. What is the equanimous solution to this problem? Is this the most equanimous path? How do I make an equanimous choice? All right. No addictions and no cravings. All right. Just stay centered, anchor into the self so that you can make an equanimous decision of how you moving forward. And this way you're not going to incur sin and karma, because every action that you make, if it's in um harmonic for the true self, then it carries no karma and no sins. All right, and that's the law of cause and effect. You're going to neutralize it, because the self, if you're in harmony with self, there is no conflict. Right. All right, so universal laws of nature are fundamental, consistent principles governing the physical universe, holding true across time and space from galaxy to atom. All right, these are the principles of creation, right? The law of creation are the principles of creation, that all creation is mind. Everything that you see is created from the mind, all right? First rise as a thought, right? The universe is consciousness and the self co-creating. Know this. All right, so you're a co-creator, creating with all your other selves But everyone is gone rogue and they're creating whatever they want. They're not following the laws of creation, which says that you must have an equanimous mind, all right, and aligning with yourself so that you can create in equanimity with all of yourself. Everything begins with thoughts. The world is a dream illusionary creation. Therefore, all creation, right? All your creation must be in harmony, right? Therefore, all must create an equanimous mind because remember, it is what? It is the mind that is creating, right? All creation is what? Is mind. It is the mind that's creating, but if your mind is not equanimous and if you have bias, you're not going to create harmonic creation. Your creation are going to be chaos. The mind must create in harmony and equanimity with self. Is your creation equanimous with true self? I am a creator creating. What are my thoughts creating me? What will my hands creation be? What will my footprints leave? Yeah. 'Cause I'm a creator, you're a creator, we are creators creating. We are creative beings. Yes, I'm. So it's time to end evil creations right now and get out of your egoic nature, dissolve your ego false selves, you know, and know, maintain equanimity in your mind so that you can co-create with all of your other self. You do not live here by yourself. You can take and own this existence, all right, and be in equanimity with yourself so that creation will be in harmony. And evil creation now, now, now. All right? Because you are violating the law of creation, the principles of creation. Stop it, stop it, stop it. Right? So let's look at the law of self. All is myself. It is I playing all these roles. Please say this with me, because this is the big old confusion that these human beings have because they do not know that all is themselves. You've been tricked by the gods too, you know, and they are claiming themselves to be this body, claiming themselves to be all kind of things, right? What you need to be saying, everyone must be in alignment, in awareness, and embodying these universal laws and these fundamental truths so that it becomes the way of life of all beings. So everyone is reciting these every day, you know, so everyone is knowing them. So everyone, this is how we're going to live by it. It's going to become the principles by which we live our lives. Say with me, all is myself. It is I playing all these roles. I alone exist. Everything is interconnected. So this is why we are co-creating together. You cannot go rogue. You cannot think that you can do whatever you want. You cannot do whatever you want. You're co-creating with all of your other selves. Be in alignment with all yourselves and see it's like a puzzle, right? You know, you have those little tiny puzzle pieces, what they call the zig it's called what, I don't remember what the puzzles are called. You know, you have 5,000 pieces. We are those fractals. We each fractal make up a piece of the puzzle, and the puzzle make oneself. You can't just go off and just put an odd thing in the picture. You know what I'm saying? As the self, your creation must be in harmony with everything that's happening. All the frequencies must be in alignment. So the music is beautiful. It's like you have an orchestra, you know, of self, and you have the drums, you have the clarinet, you have the violin, you have all these instruments synchronizing together. Which instrument are you? Yes, you are unique by your instrument and your frequencies that you are playing, but it must be in harmony with all the I and I selves. You cannot go off on your own and you know. playing whatever you want to play and not listening and be in awareness and in alignment with all your other um selves who are making these harmonic frequencies. No, you have to be in alignment with the frequency. And so this is how we're going to make beautiful music together. This is how we're going to make beautiful creation together. And this is why we have to move to this right now. The I, the I exists in myriads of expression, right? So we want to pay attention to the law of self-replication and fractalization, right? Because we are in that fractalization aspect of the self, right? And so out of one self came all of these many from self-replication. What the self did would replicate itself into a baby form, right? And that baby self makes a replica of itself, right? And then it also makes a baby self. And this the same thing that's been coming down until the self now makes bring into being a self atom, an egg called the primordial egg. And what happened? The self shattered the primordial egg, and this is all the self. We in this fractal state right now. We in this fragmented fractal state, right? As all these particles of minute particles of self. And so the I is existing in all these myriads of expressions of self, right? The primordial light, but we are in the fragmented fractal state, right? We have the so many aspects of the self, the primordial self, right? The void, the blackness, and in the fractal state, we have the protons, the masculine self-consciousness. We have the neutron, the feminine, you know, um, that holds no charge. And then we have the self is a participant in the dream creation. We have the light particles of the self. We have the void particles of the self. So in all of these aspects of the self, this is what happening, right? The law of nature and the seed of life follows the law of self. You know how when we plant a seed, that seed um have all of the um the DNA, all of the particles to become that particular tree. And so once you plant that seed, it grows into that tree, and it becomes that seed of life where it is many fruits, and then from those fruits you got all these seeds. So this is all this self-replication is happening, you know and shows us that from one seed came many, and so it is represented into the nature in terms of a seed, planting a seed and watching it grow. This is the same thing about the law of self. Is That principle is seeded into the seeds, a seed of life, planting trees and all this kind of things. All right. So this tiny seed will grow into a tree, all its energy. All right. In all of these things, everything that is created is energy, expression itself in all of these forms, right? And so whatever you create must be self-sufficient and not parasitic, so that everything, when you're growing things, you want to make sure that your seed is in harmony. So your tree that you're growing is not gonna be a poisonous tree. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna someone eat it is gonna you know create harm to them. So this is how we're moving to right now, because human beings have been creating a lot of evil. You know what I'm saying? War, evil things, a lot of chaos. All of these. Look at the evilness that all of these ones are creating, just because they They think that they can do whatever they want, and then they're not aligning with all of their other selves and creating in harmony. You know, look at the government and all of these corporations are they making, they move away from nature. They move away from nature. They're making fake food. Everything that you see, all of these store things in the store, all of these things eventually are gonna start disappearing because people have to go return back to the nature, the natural way, laws of eating food that nourishes the body, and then move away from all of these fake things. They want to turn everyone into fake. So they're making all these fake food, they're making fake meat, they're making everything fake. You know what I'm saying? And so this is what they're trying to take away your humanity. And so it's time now to stand up and see, go return back to the law of nature. You know what I'm saying? How a seed is grow, a seed is planted, you know? And be in alignment with all of that. All right? And stop seeking things outside of yourself, and just maintain equanimity in the mind. I am that I am, for that which I seek I am already that. Because many one, they don't know themselves. And so the best way to do is to self inquire, to know. Because first of all, I want you to say with me that my breath is myself, that anchors me into the body. Within this body is come equipped, excuse me, with so many aspects of the self. This body is come equipped with so many aspects of the self. And so you have a self called the void that's in the center of your chest right here. And the self called the soul dwells in the void when it's in the body. And you have yourself that is a breath. But you're looking outside of yourself for yourself, and you're right here animating the body. Oh my goodness, I just got this duality just doing this crazy stuff in this body right now. But yeah, I know it's a process of this experience. This experience is a process of returning to truth, and they don't want truth. So they do all kind of stuff in this body, and especially when I'm trying to speak some truth, they do that. They don't want the ionized to know that, for you're seeking outside of yourself. You need to stay anchored into this body, that you come equipped with everything that you need. I am that I am, for that which I seek I am already that. What is the disguise that obscures me, that I do not know myself, that I do not know how to be myself? What deceives me, that I am under false self identity? Yeah, this is the question that I want to ask, because for that which you seek is that you already are. And everything is in this body equipped for you. You don't need to go out of this body to find anything that you need. You come equipped. Yeah. And so the I need to be on the mission to restore light. All is myself. You need to know this. You need to say this. All is myself. It is I playing all these roles. That I am formless. I am timeless. I am deathless. I am limitless. I am boundless. That has no name. That cannot be explained. So don't be tricked by these deceivers who are coming to you with all these characters with all these names. All right. What did you write out in your self destiny? You must know this, that we all wrote out a destiny for ourselves. We have forgotten. We must come and take self responsibility. I fulfill my self responsibility and my self destiny. Yeah, be on the mission, because you made a vow to yourself before you came in here and forgot yourself. Now you need to remember and take responsibility and do what you said you would do. All right, so law of self. We're continuing with this one because it's a big one. How did so many beings come into being, right? Like I was saying, that the self is self-replicating, and us, so this all these many human beings are in a fractal fragmented state. So are the gods. um the many little gods, they are also into the fractal fragmented states. And so we have our other self who are not fractal and fragmented. They are not gendered, our masculine principle and feminine principle. No, no, it's within themselves. They're not separated like that with these principles. So they are already within themselves. They have all of these principles. The problem with them is that they are wearing the duality mind, and it puts them in a sleep. All right. And so they too have to wake up. All right. And so I want to just re just share an experience, of that I had. And there's many experiences that I had to learn that even in this fractal state, that I was also self-replicating myself, you know like the some of myself, every time when I would like go into the other dream realm, the one that the first one before we come into the physical one, that the non-physical dream realm, when that's where we go when we sleep. That's what one's called death. When you come out of the body in the night, we go there. But now I don't go there. So all the ones who are looking for me there, they can't find me there. All right. So when I used to go there, and all of the gods and all of these characters, they would try to trap me. And then that black, the one they call Jesus Christ, he is the black goo. And so he would be always trying to trap me when he is in that form. He is the black goo. And so he's always trying to take myself and coat me into that magnetic goo, that black magnetic goo, to cover me up, to dissolve me into itself, not dissolve me into itself, but to encase me into itself. And so I would like self-replicate, my myself. And so I remember I had to like go, there's a labyrinth. He had created a labyrinth and chopped some of myself. And so I had to go into the labyrinth to pick up myself that was waiting for me, and to come rescue them. And so I would just go into the labyrinth, and then I would just rise up like this, fly, because I have the power to fly. So I would fly up and take them out. And then I also had some selves that was waiting for me in different realms that I had to go to collect. And then I also started seeing all of these ones that coming and gathering around me, and following me everywhere. And I'm like, why are all these selves like, who are you, what what do you need, like that. And then it came to my realization, and I said, all that belonged to me, return back onto I. Be purified and return back onto I. And all that do not belong to I, be purified and return from whence you came. And so when I look, I see all of these selves, like like so many of myself, um my self fractals who were self-replicated, just merge back onto I. So we're doing this. We're making multiple copies of ourselves, and they're out there, exploring and all of these things. And so so we have to call back all of our wounded and a lot of wounded selves. So it's a process to go through this healing, and and less fragmentations, because while we are fragmenting ourselves while we're here, and making a lot of replicas of ourselves, they have to return back onto us. All right. And so you too will know this when you call back all of your your um your self replicas, that you have been replicating yourself and inside of this dream to play many roles, and you call them back to you, and dissolve them. And so now it will be just you into this experience, and that's when there's going to be less and less ones in the world experiencing things, because um, we're going to be dissolving a lot of our um, false fake selves, you know. All right, so the next universal law I want to look at, big one, the law of impermanence, because we have a major issue with the gods and with the human beings, because they're all into their egoic nature and they wanted to have immortality in this dream. When the gods were in their body and they were all here living into this realm with us, and even when they left here and went away, they wanted to hold on to their body, and of course they lost their body, and they were doing a lot of crazy things. They had a lot of crazy ideas that they think that how they was gonna hold on to their body to have immortality in the dream. This is the same thing these human beings are doing. That's why they are following the steps of the gods, doing a lot of crazy things, because they want to have immortality in a body. This is not happening. The law of impermanence says everything in this dream is not real. This body is not real. It's just a dream creation. Sensations and creations are rising and they are passing away. This world is a dream, right? Nothing in here is permanent. You're here exploring this dream. You need to know this principle, this law of impermanence. You're inside a dream. Everything is not real. It's an imagination. And you cannot have immortality inside of a dream. This is a delusional idea. This world is a dream. You're a visitor participating in your own dream imagination world. This world is governed by the law of impermanence. All things that rises will also pass away. This world is an imagination creation and is not real. All things created make an appearance and will also make a disappearance. The law of impermanence says all is energy, and that which appears solid will also dissipate and turn back into energy, right? So this is one of the reasons why you want to practice stillness, because the mind, remember, the mind is creating things, right? And because of how the things are vibrating, you think that it is fall, it is energy. But if you stay in a meditation, you will see it dissolve back into energy, right? The law of impermanence says as sensation arises, they also dissipate, they pass away. Be observant, but do not get attached to any particular sensation when they arises, because this will bring cravings and leads to misery and toxic mind. And this is what we have in this world. Everyone is so addicted to all of these sensations, all of these things. That's why they're doing crazy and strange rituals, because they are addicted to the sensation. They drinking blood, eating eating roasting human beings, eating babies, doing all kind of crazy things because they want immortality in a body, and they are addicted all to all these cravings, and they're in misery, and their mind is toxic, and they, it's a complete madness, right? And they want to hold on to their creations that they created, and they're creating all kind of crazy things, all right? And so the law of impermanence, right? All creations must also be demolished to end the dream. So everything that you are creating in here is only for a time, and it is going to be destroyed. So there's no sense of you play around and do your creation, but keep in your awareness that you also have to dissolve it. So it's like you have Legos, right? You take the Legos, you build something, and when you're done, you take down your building and you put the Legos away. You know what I'm saying? This is the same thing. You have to eventually dissolve your creation, all your things that you have created. And in the meantime, when you are creating, you have to be in harmony with all of the ionized selves, so that you are whatever you're creating, because you're co-creating with all the other aspect of selves. And so we're making music, harmonic music, all right. And so we don't want chaotic music, because everyone is an instrument playing your frequencies and vibration together, and it must harmonize. Okay. All creation must also be demolished to end the dream. This is very important. All creation must what? Be demolished. Do you know how to explore this dream world without attachment and cravings? And know that everything that you create, you must dissolve your creation. Okay? And so we're having a lot of changes happening in the world and within ourselves. All right? Because change is happening as a result of the law of impermanence, right? Nothing is resting, everything is always changing, always motion, always stuff happening. And so, apart from the climate engineering that the government corporations are doing, because they're doing this right now, they're having a climate war with all of the ionized. And so, they are shooting missiles in the sun, they are blocking, putting all kind of chemical and blocking the sun. They are fighting a war with the self, because they actually say that they are fighting a war against the true nature, which is the feminine, that is restoring balance right now, that is going to rise up, and the masculine have to co-create with the feminine in harmony and equanimity, right? And so we have these ignorant human beings, so-called scientists, these evil ones. They are shooting missiles into the sun. They are um, spraying all kind of things, blocking out the and sending, reflecting back the vibrations, the energies back to the sun. And they're spraying all kinds of things. They're doing a lot of crazy things, and they think that they are going to win this war, because they have waged a war against the self, the real, that is now to restore balance. And they do not want, because they want immortality in a dream, and they think that they're gonna win and get immortality in a dream. But it's not happening. You dream characters, you ignorant, delusional characters. And so because of this now, these government corporations are doing this, but they will not win. But aside from that, we are also going to a changes. The climate is also changing, because the law of impermanence say that change is inevitable. It's always happening. Remember, vibrate the law of vibration, nothing rests, constant motion, right? Change happening. Creations are coming, they're rising and falling away. You know what I'm saying? The same thing is happening here. The self, the world is changing as a result of the I, that which is the self, that is the world, is waking up from sleeping. And so, because the self has been sleeping for such a long time, the self is waking up, the change is happening. So, if the self is sleeping, it was winter, it was cold, it was a lot of ice, the self become that ice. And so, the ice is going to be melting, because the self is waking up, right? And the self is waking up, but the consciousness that become the ice is still sleeping. But the ice that is the self is going to melt. You know what I'm saying? So this is what's happening in the world now, because more heat are gonna come. The selves are waking up. All right. This world is changing as a result of all of this, right? Because this world is a dream imagination creation. We are inside the belly of the I mother self, just like when we were babies in our human mother belly, being brewed in there, and then we were born out into this realm here. You know what I'm saying? And so the same thing is happening, right? This world is a duality changing to non-duality, and we too, we have to change. We have to rebirth ourselves into non-duality, right? We have to move out of the duality and move into non-duality, right? We must see things as they are. All right. And so I want to ask you, what changes have you observed within yourself, in this body? And what changes have you observed in the world? All right. So also, that falls under the law of impermanence is this life and death aspect of the dream. So remember, life, what we call life is the the physical aspect of the dream, and death you call is also an aspect of the dream, but it is the non-physical, right? So we were there into the non-physical, and then we came into the physical, right? Taking the body, animating the body form, and here, then when we finish with our mission in the body, then we have to exit the body. You know what I'm saying? And but we what we have to do is to come into more awareness, right? So the fundamental truth of life and death is that, you know, we have seen ones coming and going, right? You you too will one day go. And this is one of the problems that human beings are having. They are so afraid of death. They think that everyone else will die and they will not die. No, you too will die. Yeah. How to live a self-aware life and die a self-aware death, which meaning that you you will come awake while you're in a dream, and so you will be in self-awareness. So whenever you have to die, the body dies, but whenever you have to vacate the body dies. And but you will vacate with awareness, so you know exactly where you have to go, because once you are in here and you align with yourself and you've been practicing stillness still in your mind, you're not going to follow the mind to go where the mind wants you. You're going to detach from this mind. You're going to have void between yourself and the mind, so that when you are exiting this body, you are now anchored into the void in the center of your chest, and you're anchored in with all the I and I self that is the truth, right? And you are going to go with yourself and not follow the ego's path. So when you're moving out, your mind slate is clean, all right? And so you can just return this mind slate back to Ra, and you won't have to, reincarnation and all those things are going to be ending once you get that. You know what I'm saying? There's no reason for you to be trapped by the consciousness, because all of these things are going to end where the consciousness have been trapping ones, you know, into this mind grid. And now when we are leaving, we leave with a clean slate. So the consciousness, you can give the consciousness back the mind slate that you're using, and now the self can go in alignment back to its root. So you will no longer be caught into this mind grid, as long if you're not wearing this mind on you anymore. You need void between it, so the consciousness grabs it, and it doesn't grab you. You know what I'm saying? It will go back to the consciousness, because the consciousness is mind. The self is not. The self is the neutron. All right. And it's feminine. I want to just tell everyone this. Everyone who's coming to the human form, calling the soul self, is all feminine. It is just playing these roles in taking on form as male and female. But we also have some masculine, some true masculine that's in the world. um a few true masculine that comes in, um and they follow the guidance of their soul, the feminine. Yeah, but we do have some true masculine that comes in, but a lot of them did not come into the world. They remain invisible, and they are known as the infamous gods and the deities. Yeah. And so now, um they're gonna have to spend time now, because this is what I command for them to do, to be purifying their mind, so that they can stop their delusions and all of these evil things. Yes, because they also have to lose attachment because they have a lot of cravings for sexual things and with human beings, and for rituals and blood sacrificing and all of these things, and sacrificing to the gods. Yeah, all of this has to stop because those gods are delusional and crazy. Why you think they would be telling you to be doing sacrifice and these crazy things? The same one that wanted to hold, just like how you see these human beings are in here and they're delusional, all of your masculine self, or they are playing the gods, telling you a lot of crazy things, and they don't know truth because they did not want to come in here and play a human role, because they wanted to oppress human beings and trick them and play tricks on them, and telling you all the time, oh, I am God. Do you know who I am? I am God. The self will never say that to you. Only these egoic nature will come to you and tell you about I am God. The self never says that. The real selves. Yeah. So will you live from the self-awareness? You know? Will you live in alignment with your one true self? Will you live with an equanimous mind? Will you live from the awareness of the law of impermanence? Stop seeking immortality in this dream, and stay focused on knowing that you're a visitor here inside of this dream, and you just came to visit. The fundamental truths of life and death is that it follows the law of impermanence and says all human beings must and will die. It's time to see things as they are. There's no immortality in a human body. You made an appearance and soon you will make a disappearance. Stop following these miserable, tortured minds, both gods and human beings, telling you all of these crazy things, and you are following them. Can you live a noble, self-aware life and maintain a pure mind? This is the mission right now. Yes, let's look at the law of correspondence. The law of correspondence dictates that as within, so without, meaning your outer world is a direct reflection of your inner thoughts, your inner beliefs, and emotions, right? And so, what the turmoil that's going on in your mind, all right, it's going to be reflecting outward. It acts as a mirror where your external circumstances, relationship, and experience correspond to your internal state of being. All right. As above, so below. Right. Remember that there is a screen above. And the screen is the I self that is the real, that is reflecting everything that we can see. All right. And so the just like a movie screen where the screen is this the plays out the movie, and so the I self is that screen. And so whatever we're seeing up there, all the stars and all of these things, it is us, right? It's us down here being reflected up there. All right. Okay, so just know this truth, right? As above, so below. Everything is all ionized, all right? Know that this body is a micro universe. You don't need to, and it's okay for many ones. They want to know those things, and they want to learn this thing. But if you want to know truth, you have to stay within the body and explore within the body, and know that this body is a micro universe. All right. If you want to know truth and know your real true self, you stay with awareness in the body and align with the I that exists in the body. You are animating the body. Many ones want to go out of body experience. They want to do all these things. Yes, you've had those experiences. That's exploring in the dream. How are you going to know the real? You can only know the real from the self, right? Because all of those selves, when you go into having those outer body experience, you're not connecting with the real. You're connecting with all those characters who are very deceiving. You know what I'm saying? This is all aspect of the dream. You're going into the dream, all the layers of the dream. But to connect with the self, you have to anchor and stay with awareness in the body. The first awareness you want to come is to your breath. You want to know that my breath is myself that anchors me into the body. Align with it. Then in the center of your chest is the void. The self, everything that you need is already come equipped in this body. Remember, this body is a micro universe. Everything that you need is already here. All right. So yourself in the void, you anchor yourself to your breath in the void. Yourself, when the soul is also in the void, right? Anchors into the center of your chest. This is why they always used to pull it out. You know, those guys, they come and they steal it out of your chest, right? And this is why no, they cannot do this, because all of the souls are with the I self right now, the I mommy self. So keeping them safe so that all of these ones cannot steal them, because this is what the consciousness have told all of these technocrats. They are creating these devices to extract your energy and extract your soul from your body, so that they can trap it into these metallic beings that they are creating. You know, the robots, the metallic beings, because you know the consciousness, and a lot of the beings, they are metallic because they are made from. That's why they're searching, digging the earth for these rare minerals, because um, those beings, they are magnetic, and so they are metal. They are metal. You know, they can put metal, you know, in within you, and they so that's why these ones are hunting for rare metal. So now they find some in Jamaica. That's why they're over there messing up the weather in Jamaica, you know, and in the Caribbean. These delusional characters, I'm like, but I am ready make my commandment against all these delusional characters, that they all my ego false self will be dissolved to be no more, because all the I and I's must return to the I truth state, and be in harmony, and creating in equanimity with all the I and I selves, and no more evil must exist here, because we must all be on a mission to maintain within this micro universe of this body the first equanimity. You must be a creator. If you cannot create harmony within your body and within your mind, you will not be allowed to create anywhere less. You have to be sitting in stillness the whole time until you learn how to balance your own micro universe. Yeah, this is how we are moving forward. So be on the mission to turn inwards so you can start doing this, right? And so this is what is happening right now, you know, because all the INIs need to stay in alignment, and know that everything that you need is already in this body. Align with yourself that is here, you know, the pure self. Stay anchored. The I self is the screen on which this world is being played out, you know. All right. And we must maintain equanimity in our micro universe called this body. All right. Keep your mind pure. Stay anchored and stabilized into the I self called the soul. But they will not be able to enslave the soul, because the I self is already secured. All the souls are gathered the I baby self onto the I, so that these evil ones, the gods and the human beings, creating their devices to trap the soul, they cannot trap it. All right. So they will be defeated, and all ego false selves will be dissolved. You will not win. You cannot win. Your age of ignorance and tyranny and bullying is over. Yes, so let's look at some universal truths that must be taught to all beings, because this is why we have so many delusional characters who are doing all kind of evil things, because they do not know universal truths. They're making up a lot of man-made laws on only to enslave others, and they claim impunity and immunity, right? We, everyone in this world, must know this. All human beings have basic needs, right? They have basic needs: clean water, they need food, they need shelter to be in this world. Human beings are looking these things until we move to self-sufficiency. When this body have the intelligence that it can create its own light, it will not need energy from outside sources, right? They need clothes, they need a community self-sufficient life, in community sustainability, you know, and they need a peace of mind. They need, this community living, right? Where one is getting all the tools and the basic things that one need, right? Why not focusing on maintaining basic human needs? But many of these ones are lost in their imagination, creating so much misery and deprivation for others, right? And charging us astronomical fees to live into this dream. And we need to go back to this very foundation that all human beings have basic needs, and we're inside the belly of the I Mother self. And the I Mother has provided all of these things for us in here, so that nature, the I Mother Nature, has provided all these things for us so that we can be able to fulfill our basic needs. And here we go, when we have these ones who are stopping us from doing this. When the I Mother Nature has provided all the things that we need, and they don't want us to have our basic needs. They want to take it all, own it, and then we come to work for them so that we go to work so we can get some water to drink, so we can get some food, and we can get some shelter. What is that madness? So we must come to these fundamental truths, that this is a basic thing that human being needs, and no one should be taking it all for themselves and charging you to tell you that you need to become a slave to them before you can be fed and watered. This is madness. All right. Now the universal truth, a very fundamental truth, is this breath of life, right? We know that breathing sustains life. Breathing is natural and automatic, right? It is the I that has no name, that can't be explained. You see, this I, this self, this breath of life, it never speaks. It just come and it does its job. It's not like this mind who is talking, all of this, and you still don't know truth, right? You can ask this mind a question. It goes around in a merry-go-round kind of way, and we're still in confusion. It gives us a lot of elaborate words and all these things, and ones are still in confusion. But the breath of life, it comes in, but it anchors the I self in this body, right? And until the last breath, when you have to exit out of this body, then it releases, right? When there's a magnet, electromagnet, that comes on the top of your head and clamp down and pull you out of this body, right? And then the self disconnects. The breath of life disconnects from you. You take your last breath and disconnects, right? Is the I aware of this? It's time now for us to come into this awareness and align with the I self, right? Do you make an effort to breathe? It is being done for you, whether you are aware of it or not. When this body is resting, the breath of life is still connected, holding you here. Wherever you go, this breath of life is there, holding the fort down here into this body for you. So is the void. The void is always here, right? What is this breathing that you do? You need to be inquiring to say, what is this? Pause. Get out of your mind and center into the void, into the self, in the center of your chest, right? There's no need to read it from a book, right? You must know this from an experiential level. True wisdom comes from self experience and awareness, right? Yes, many of you guys are out there experiencing things, yes, but you're only experiencing the ideal nature. You're only experiencing different aspect of the dream. To experience the real, you have to anchor it in this body. Know that this body is sacred, right? Let us now bring our attention to our breathing. Just connect with your breath. Center into your heart. And this is what you do, right? Accept things as they are, right? Such is the nature of this world. Be self-content within yourself, right? That when you anchor into your breath and yourself, you are self-content. You don't need nothing, right? My breath is myself that anchors me into the body. Say this. My breath is myself that anchors me into the body. Connect with it and be in gratitude. Be in gratitude that you don't have to think about breathing. It's just being done automatically for this body. Because if you had to be thinking about it, this body would, every time when you would come out of this body to go into the invisible, the dream, then you would lose connection with the breath of life from the body. But it's not so. It is still functioning, holding this body here for you, doing its job, taking the responsibility to do this job for you. So, all right, so let's look at the next fundamental truth is of curiosity. It is because of curiosity that we are right now inside of this dream. Curiosity is a fundamental and universal truth that we're all curious, right? It is the reason why, because I self, out of curiosity, right? I said, out of curiosity, I self exist alone. There's no thought. I self in stillness, right? I am still, I am still working out with the I self because I still want to know how this what happened with the self replication started, because the I self had a thought um of self self replicating, right? Because um I'm still not understanding the self, the I self wanted to explore and itself in all, just thyself like curiosity to learn more about, being I self in many many forms, in creating things. The I self had a curiosity, because the I self existing alone, and then had a curiosity about creation and wanting to have all of these. It kind of reminded me of, I remember that which came as my mom. I remember her saying to me that, she had, when she was young, she wanted to like company. She wanted to have children, and she thought that, she thought she had an idea of what she think that it was gonna be. And so, she had, she had all these children, but then it didn't turn out, because once you do that, you bring into being, then children become, like wayward, rebellious, against the self. And even before the, all of the self, all the self-replication, self-replicas became rebellious against the self. All was in harmony before, but it was when the fractalization of the self during the self atom, this was where when the curiosity arises off because when the self wanted to explore all the particles, and I think I am responsible for that curiosity because I'm not exactly sure about the whole curiosity, but I know that Set instigated me too, because and I mommy created the dream because I wanted to know what these particles was, when the self was in the fractal fragmented state. We were creating with certain particles, right? Because remember, like I said, it was just one self, and the self wanted to create. So out of curiosity, the self wanted to know, to have many selves to talk with, to communicate with, to create, just to have some baby selves. And so the first thing the self did was make the first baby self, and that baby self made another baby self, and it also made a self replica. And so this is how, all of these babies came in, because the self well, at the first curiosity of wanting to make baby cells, to have company, to communicate with, to play with, all of these things. And when it came down to the fragmented self, when we were that self, the void, the primordial egg was fragmented and shattered, and we become that fractal self. I know that I had a curiosity about some particles, and the self was telling me about the not to be curious about those particles. And now, I finally, get the understanding of why they were spreading it, that the self, the female was responsible for the first sin. And because when I was inquiring into the self, this was the frequencies I was picking up, that it was from me, that I had a curiosity to find out about these particles. You know how science, they call the particles of, guys, I want you to know that this my consciousness slate is constantly being wiped clean. And I always have a hard time remembering things, and stuff is just keep wiping out all the time. So what I am saying is that the part hold on 1 second. So because right now I am having these dualities on me, and they just giving me a hard time for me to get articulated. Every time I'm trying to say something, um they're messing up my mind right now. So anyways, so I had a curiosity, and Set, because we from the same lineage, Set, we from the same lineage, he was also encouraging me to ask my mommy self to allow me to create the dream, because with that particles, you if you wanted to explore it, um you you would have to use an imagination. It was the imagination particles. And so this was what happened, that I had a curiosity about the imagination particles. And so this is when the I mommy self, was given, wrote out the destiny to create this for I, because to make this dream. And so she had all the self replicas and all the thing. I don't know, like all the full stories of it, because is you see what I am, my experiences is some of my memories, but I don't have the self. See how you see one that channel things and someone is talking through them. That never happens with it is me who have to come to these knowing myself. I have to figure out all of the problems and solve them myself, because I this is what's written out in my destiny. And because it was, you can blame it on me, it's my fault. So that's why I am on the destiny right now to restore order to myself, and to my creation, and because it's the I take full responsibility. And that's why, you know now I kind of understand more of why, because I still see that curiosity within myself. And it was also that same curiosity that made me come to this realization when, I was, this young human being, to say this world does not make sense. Even before I was 12 years old, I was questioning the pastors in the church and saying, why is God jealous, and why does evil rise in the world? Yeah, I was doing this in Jamaica, but they couldn't understand, um what I was saying, and they're telling me to read the Bible and all these things. And when I read the whole Bible, I still did not get my answers, and on all the things that they are telling me, they're giving me the reason of why, evil exists and why God is jealous. Did not make sense to me. And it was all because of curiosity. This was the reason why, I am now, I was able to liberate myself, and because of curiosity and me wanting to know my true self, and I wanting to know, why this world, where did evil rise from, and how did evil first come into being? Why is the mind sick? Why is evil rising from my mind? And all this curiosity I had. And one thing I knew within myself, that I should not have curiosities about the negative things in the world to get to know it. I did not have any curiosities about those things. And so I kept my curiosity to wanting to know the truth, the fundamental truth, the rules of the world, and all these things. All right. So now, your curiosity must be centered on self knowledge, because we have to move from this curiosity outside of ourselves. We have to anchor ourselves into the I want true pure self. And now that we have explored, I have learned everything that I wanted to know, and I have satisfied my curiosity, and I have no more curiosity about this dream gene, this dream particles, this imagination particles. I have no more curiosity about it. What I want to do is to restore light, restore order, return to truth, and dissolve all my egoic nature, and to maintain balance. But it is a process to return back to truth. So that's why now the process is to maintain a pure mind, and to maintain how to, because I never got a chance to have a balanced creation in this world. And so we have to first move to creating equanimous creation. So this way that I'm not gonna have any more curiosity about, thinking that, I knew I could have done it and made a balanced creation. So that's now the process that we're going through right now, because before, all of our creation was chaos and chaotic, and now we have to move forward into having balanced creation. All right, creating in all of us, creating together in harmony, making beautiful music, you know good vibrations. All of our vibrations are in our harmonic and equanimous. All right. And so that's what I learned, from that. And so that's why I'm on this mission, and that's why I accept my destiny. And because and I deal with all of this, the suffering and the unpleasantness of all of these guides and all of these ones who have to come into this body and do all horrible things to me. Yeah, I accept it, my destiny. So, self contentment, this world is a dream, and nothing here is real except you, the real self, animating this avatar. Let me say this again. This world is a dream. This world is a dream, and everything is an imagination. It is not real. Only you, the self, that is real in here. Everything is not real. Nothing is real here. Just you, the self. I am self content. I have no desires. I have no cravings. I have no more curiosities about this dream. I cultivate a peaceful, equanimous mind. All right. And so, sacred body. I want to make this is a fundamental truth that this body is sacred. I know many ones abuse their body. They take a lot of drugs. They drink alcohol. They abuse this body so badly. They eat a lot of horrible food. Even myself, I never used to eat horrible food, but lately, I've just been just eating anything that I find available. Cause the food is rationed because I don't have a proper position and places. I'm in the trenches, just like a lot of ones are struggling. Some ones I am around, I have lots of women who are homeless. They in shelters. You know what I'm saying? I have lots of mothers with their children. That's around. I struggling like crazy. So, I am in the trenches with all the I and I's, so no one can say that, oh, you don't know what I am feeling. You don't know what this is like for me. I know from every aspect. I know what it is because I am dealing with it myself. So I am saying that body is sacred. So we got to, put, pure things into this body, and treat it as a sacred temple. All right. I know that everything that you need is it come equipped with this body. Stop abusing it. You know, I came equipped with all the things that I need for this body. So just remember this. All right. And keep this body pure. Stay in the body, anchor in the body, and then you're gonna get to know your truth and you're gonna get to know your real self, right? The void is right here in the real self, taking care of you. Anchor and stay in the body. Keep the body sacred, please. All right, so let's look at some more. Fun, let's look at some more fundamental truths and some universal law. So let's look at the law of equanimity, right? And equanimous consciousness create equanimous things as a result of the dual nature, right? Because we're inside of the dream, all right? The mind is not equanimous. And this is the laws of equanimity is that the mind, we have to work on the mind to make the mind equanimous. We want a pure mind because if our mind is in chaos, then everything that we create is going to be chaotic, right? The consciousness went rogue, right? The mind is not equanimous because the consciousness went rogue and rebelled against itself, and the consciousness is creating all kind of crazy things, and it's not in alignment with self. And the consciousness think that it is more powerful than itself, and it doesn't acknowledge the self because the consciousness is from a masculine energy, and the self is feminine, right? And so this is the problem, that the consciousness is don't want to be in equanimity with the self. And so now consciousness must come to this realization that it has to create in harmony with itself. That which is the seeking it is light, and it can get light from the self. When we have a solar eclipse, when the moon covers the sun, this is when the sun comes in alignment with the self, and it obscures the light of the self, and so when there is void between the self and the sun, then the sun, the moon can get light, because know that the moon is the consciousness of the world. I want you to know this. The moon is the consciousness of the world. It is the mind of Ra. The sun is Ra. The moon is the mind, her mind. All right. And so this moon, this mind, this consciousness, it went rogue. It's fighting against itself. It's fighting against all of us in the beings in the world, and have hatred towards us. the soul, right? So therefore, we must learn to maintain equanimity in our mind so we can be equanimous in all of our creations, so that anything that we create must be in balance and harmony. Mind and self must co-create in alignment for balance in the world. Each and every co-creators must maintain equanimity within themselves for all creation to be balanced, right? This is the law of equanimity, and this is what we have to move to, right? It's very important, all right? So each and every creator must what? Must maintain an equanimous mind, right? The mind must be what? Equanimous, all right? So let's look at the law of duality, right? That this world is duality, which means that there's two forces of energy. We have the real and we have the dream, because remember that the world is created from the I self, the I mommy self, and each realm is different. It is each of those self that is become the realm. So in this realm that we are, the self that I mommy, the parent self, was always been here, that we know nothing about, except you only know about the gods, the masculine. But it is the feminine. She is the screen on which this dream, this world is taking place, right? She's the screen, and her self-replica, remember, we're self-replicating, her self-replica called Ra becomes the world. So she's playing the screen and she's also playing Ra. No, Ra is herself that goes to sleep sometimes when her mind obscures her. And then when that happens, she creates chaos. All right? So this is the duality nature. That's how we in duality. Sleeping and dreaming state. Therefore, we must remember that we are participant in a dream creation, exploring our imagination and all the sensation and experiences that can arise from these combinations of the real creating the dream and also exploring the dream creation device. All right. So this duality world is based on the opposing forces as a result of ignorance on the part of the consciousness. Because remember that the consciousness is what is the creation device that allows the creation to be. And the self is the real awake, and sometimes the self go to sleep. All right. And so they're supposed to co-creating together. But when the consciousness went rogue, it is just doing whatever it wants and it's not creating in harmony with the self. Let's observe the contrast of the real versus the dream. Life versus death, the light on versus the light off, the self that is awake versus the self that sleeps. These are all the duality nature, you know. And so it's time to acknowledge that we are participants in a dream world. We need to know this. All right. So everything is happening inside of Ra's dream. We are inside of her mind. We came into her belly. We are in our womb. This is the duality. Okay. And in this duality, we're also experiencing different duality principles. Like we have the dream that is non-physical, and then we have the dream that is physical, and which we call a life and death, right? So this is the duality of this world, and so we have to move now from to non-duality. So we have equanimity in our mind, so we are not into that duality stage anymore. So we're in harmony with ourself and the mind. So there is a equanimity. All right. So we have now the law of destiny and self-responsibility, because we have many ones, gods and human beings, who are claiming immunity and impunity. When the gods are doing their evil stuff, they are claiming immunity and impunity. We have the evil human beings, scientists, technocrats are doing evil and claiming immunity and impunity. Not happening. You must take self-responsibility for everything that you create. Yeah. Everyone participating in the dream imagination creation must first write out a destiny and vow for themselves. Because when you come in here, you forget because of the consciousness is gonna obscure you. You forget, and then you start doing a lot of crazy things. This is why you write out your vow and your destiny for yourself, so that when that you come awake in the dream, that you will remember why you first came here. Everyone have a destiny of why they came. This world is illusionary by nature, and as soon as one puts on this consciousness device, the device obscures the self and create the ego false self. And everyone in the world is in their ego false self, including the gods. They're in their ego false self too, right? You spend your life in ignorance and not knowing your true self identity. Now you must come awake and take self responsibility and fulfill your self destiny that you wrote out for yourself. This is why I wrote out this destiny for myself, and now I've taken full responsibility of it. And I understand the process, no matter how painful and no matter how unpleasant it is. I have to deal with it. Like I say, it's just like when a mother know the process of giving birth to a baby. You know, when you're in the birthing process, it is very painful. But then the pain will wear off, and then you will see the beauty of your child. So this is what's gonna happen once after I go through all this process, and I'm gonna see the beauty of an equanimous mind. Existing with all the ionize co-creating together. All right. So I'm going to repeat that. Now, all the ionites must come awake, including human beings and the gods. Everyone must come awake, all the ionites. Take self responsibility. You must fulfill your self destiny that you wrote out for yourself. This is for all the selves, whether you are animating a human form or the God form. What did you write out in your destiny? When I say the gods, I mean if you call yourselves angels, archangels, aliens, whatever you call yourselves. All right? I take self responsibility. Everyone must do this. All right? So let's just go over, these fundamental truths again, right? Through your experience and your observations, right? I want to ask you, what truths have you observed about the world? I would like to bring your attention to these very important fundamental truths. Yes, there are more, but these are the ones that we're having a lot of problems with. All right, so there are some facts that can be absolutely relied on to give us the right answers and always lead us in the right direction when we are making choices. So let's look at the breath of life, right? How are you breathing? Can you live without breathing? Remember, we talk about this one. Pay attention to your inhalation and your exhalation. And remember to say, my breath is myself that anchors me into the body. All right. And now let's look at this fundamental truth. Right. The mind of all beings is impure. All right. We should all know this by now. So that's why we're going to be on the mission to purify our minds. All evil arises from the mind. The mind is blind because consciousness is sleeping and dreaming of this world. And it's time to wake up. All right, we want to look at life and death. Remember that life is just the process of entering and leaving the body without awareness, right? You come into the body, you have no awareness. Death, you're leaving the body and you have no awareness. So now you must learn how to leave this body with awareness. Life is a dream within a dream, right? Death is leaving the human body awareness, right? So you need to now stay focused on learning how to leave this body with awareness. And you do this by first anchoring into the body, getting stay in alignment with your breath, knowing yourself, anchoring into the void in the center of your chest, and get to know yourself, right? And then remember that I am not this body, right? I am not this mind. I am not my thoughts, right? You're just wearing this bodysuit, right? Remember, curiosity, it is innate within all human beings, within all beings, whether they're gods, all aspect of the self have an innate curiosity, all right? So now your curiosity must be centered on self-knowledge, right? Do you know who you really are? Be curious about your true self. Stay anchored in this body. All that you need is here. All right. So um I want to also reiterate this fundamental truth. We are all a visitor to this physical realm called the earth. You're a visitor here. Do not hold attachment and cravings to it. All right. We have a great opportunity to make a balanced impression. What will you make of your time here? It's time to fulfill your self destiny and be liberated. All right. What did you write out in your destiny? Use this time wisely, right? And stop holding to attachment and dreams and all of these things. Okay. And a very fundamental truth, right? Um, I am not my thoughts. You got to say this. Thoughts are always arising from this rogue mind. Just watch it arise and pass away, you know, because this is just how this mind is. You're accepting of it, you see it for what it is. All right. You know that the self, called the spirit, is the baby soul and is in a sleeping and dreaming state, right? Because it is entranced in the dream, right? Sleeping, and it must wake up. All right. This is it's a fundamental truth. All right. Okay. Also, that we are sovereign beings and that all human beings' needs must be met. They must be free. Life must be free. All right. This is very important that we are sovereign beings and human beings are, the self that animate the body is sovereign, and everything that in this world must be shared for all the ionized. You can't take it all for yourself and then start come up with this ridiculous thing about money, and then we have to come slave for you to get it, and then this is all we're gonna get some water. You're charging us for water, you're charging us for food, you're charging us for living, for having a home. And fundamental truth, this life is a dream. Consciousness is sleeping and dreaming up this world. We're inside of a dream, y'all. This world is a dream, y'all. Life is a dream, y'all. Life is a dream, y'all. Wake up. All right. And then self-contentment, that you need to be content within yourself. Stay in alignment with your breath, anchor into the void. Yeah. And be self-content. I don't need anything. I have no desires. I have no cravings. I have no attachments. I have no curiosity because I'm in alignment with myself. Yeah. About this dream. Because many ones have a lot of curiosity about this dream. I have no curiosity about this dream, this imagination device. I've been there and I've already done that. Yeah. You just now need to remember all the things that you have done. All right. We know that fundamental truth, consciousness, and the light is indivisible. But here, to make this imagination device, the light is being obscured from the consciousness, right? And the light must be restored. Also, the self and the light is indivisible. When you don't have your light, you act stupid, you act crazy, and you do a lot of crazy things. Same thing with the self, the same thing with the consciousness. Light must be restored. And then the next one now, fundamental truth, is that the body is a temple, right? My body is my sacred temple, and the body I'm equipped in this body with all that I need. I keep my body temple pure. It's very important to do this. Fundamental truth, all beings suffer from mind sickness, whether they are God or human beings. As long as you wear this imagination mind device, you're suffering from mind sickness. All right. Universal truth is that the mind is impure because its light is being obscure. And so the whole idea right now is to restore all lights. All right. The mind becomes the invisible force fighting against us. This is a fundamental truth. That's what's happening. Try to deceive you. It is the trickster. All right. You must now observe objectively all sensations. All right. And do not identify as this mind. Do not identify with your creation. All right. Fundamental truth of the mind is that the mind is an imagination device to create all things imagined. Right? The consciousness is sleeping and dreaming up all things from imagination. All right? Nothing really exists in solid form. All right? And so the mind has gone rogue against itself and is fighting against itself. And now the mind must maintain equanimity, and the mind must be, you must be on the mission to purify your mind, right? Consciousness is not aware of itself and has created many fake selves. And so right now, consciousness must dissolve all of these fake selves and go in alignment with its real and pure self. Yeah. The mind is creating chaos and the self is creating balance. And now the two, the mind and the self, must co-create together for harmony, because this mind must be still. And so it's time to engage the mind in stillness. All right. We know that the mind lacks the ability to stay in awareness because it is in a sleeping, dreaming state. That's why you have to practice daily from moment to moment stillness, self-awareness, and mind purification. Align, connect with your breath, center in the void. And maintain stillness. The mind is impure and needs to be purified continuously. All right, so the mind does not know how to be equanimous and be still, and that's why we have to cultivate the mind. The mind is busy, constantly being looped in memory and imagination. Have you observed this about yourself? This is the reason why we need stillness. The mind is seeking for gratification in this all the sensation, because the mind is missing the memory is there of its light when it once was luminous, when it once has its own light. And it is an insatiable craving that the mind has, that, and it's looking for satisfaction into this dream world, but it's not there. So the mind has to come to the realization that the only way that light can be restored is to anchor within itself, in being in equanimity with the self, and everything in the mind slate has to be erased. This is all the mind is gonna be restored back to its pure state. All right, and we want to be on the mission to make this happen. All right. Okay, so remember that this world is a dream, right? The self is sleeping, right? The the consciousness is also sleeping, but the consciousness is dreaming, because remember, the consciousness is dreaming up all of these things, all of these human beings in the world. This is how the self is sleeping, and their consciousness is dreaming. And so we're many times many layers inside of a dream. Yes, many layers. How many dimensions of dreams? Yeah, when you come out of this body and you go explore, it's all aspect of the dream. The way that you're going to access the real is when you stay anchored in this body and align with your breath, that is yourself, that anchors you in the body, and the void. Yeah. Okay. So I am the self. I have a mind. My mind has no light. Therefore, it has gone crazy. Consciousness. You are sleeping and dreaming. Consciousness, wake up. Remember, consciousness is the magnetic energy. Consciousness needs the electrons, the light, right? I am sleeping and my mind is dreaming. Wake up, wake up, wake up. All is myself. It is I alone exist. Let's go back to that page. About that. You must strip yourself of everything you have gathered unto you and identify as yourself. Strip down to the pure self, right? You gotta go beyond this body, go beyond this mind, go beyond all the gods, go beyond Jesus, go beyond all of these characters. Everything that you have identified as yourself, you need to strip down to it, right? I have no mother, no father, I have no sister, no family, no brother, no children, no husband, no wife, no lovers, no gurus, no teachers, no gods, no deities, because all is myself. It is I playing all of those roles. I alone exist. All myself must return back unto I. Remember, out of one came all these many. Out of many, we are one. Out of one came all these manys. Out of manys, we are one. And we need to be in alignment with the one, right? All myself must return unto me. I am one with all, right? It's time for truth and no more ignorance. We need to know this. Everyone is learning this, reciting this. We are knowing this. All right. This is how we are going to move to balance, to non-duality, to equanimity. It's time to castrate your ego and wake up. No one can save you from your sins. You must stop sinning. Take self-responsibility. It's not about what you have. All of you talking about your millionaire, trillionaire, quadrillionaires. Where are you going to take all of this to? This is all dream things that you are gathered. And you don't know who you are. You must save yourself. Be your own salvation. None of the gods, the deities, ancestors can get you to rise up in the balanced, non-dual world. Neither can any of your possession that you hold so dear to you. Everything in this world is a dream. Therefore, when this dream ends, everything in this world will burn to ashes. You cannot take anything when it's time to leave here. How will you live your life now? The choice is yours. Know there will be consequences for all actions, says the laws of cause and effect. I will make equanimous choice. It's time to be your own salvation. Because all is an illusion and only yourself is real. And all the ones who have done all this evil know that you will be dissolved to be no more, and you will not participate in the non-dual creation. Life must be free. I and I inside of this body of the I self being charged and taxed to live and struggle for basic existence. And I am demanding for this exploitive and barbaric, tyrannical bully regime to end. We must live inside our parent self for free. It's free life that Mother Nature has created everything here so that we can live in equanimity and harmony and stop creating horrible poisonous things. We do not need all these crazy things that you are creating. Stop charging the I and I to live here. This is my proclamation of self-sovereignty, food sovereignty. It's time for all the I and I's to stop this madness, crazy, ignorant human beings, government, technocrats, all the oligarch, all the corporations that is running the world. All evil will be erased from the face of this world. Know this truth. All evil will be erased from the face of this world. And all you evil beings, you will be dissolved to be no more. You will not get to participate in the balanced creation because you don't know how to create equanimity. Only the ones who know how to create equanimity. Remember, this body is a micro universe. If you can hold equanimity within your body, then you will be able to create in a non-dual world. Know this truth. This is my proclamation of self-sovereignty. It's time for community self-sufficiency. Life must be free. Righteousness prevails. Righteousness prevails. And righteous integrity. Victory, 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 victory. All is one. All is myself. I alone exist. Victory, 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 victory. And I'm dissolving all my ego false self. Yes, it is a process, but know that it is going to happen. It's a process, and I am with the process, I'm being patient. That's another skill that I needed to learn very well. Patience. I have not been very patient. Life must be free. It's time for community self-sufficiency. Now is the time for justice, order, truth, and balance. It's time for evil to end. It's time for greed to end. Time for egoism to end. Slavery must end. All these evil human beings and all these evil gods, it's time to be sitting to purify your mind, guys. Everyone have to do this. All the gods, angel, archangel, alien, whatever that you call yourself, everyone, all of the self, the I and I selves in this duality nature must purify their mind. Everyone has to do this. Yeah. So all these ones in the human beings were doing all these crazy things. Yes. Everyone. You will not participate in the non-dual creation. You have done a lot of evil. Yeah. And it's time for you to see what you have done and start purifying your mind so that you can finally return to your ultimate true state. Yes. Time for egoism to end. Slavery must end. All souls are free. All selves are free. Victory, victory. Victory, victory. Victory, victory. Victory, victory. Yeah, tyranny and bullying ends now. It's time to live upright and be cloaked in righteousness. Time to live as a honorable, self-knowing human beings. I live by the law of the I want you, pure self, and maintain equanimity in this mind. All evil will be erased from the face of the world. Evil must end. Evil must end, and life must be free. Time for community parenting when we are all one family. Yeah. Righteousness prevails. Victory, victory. All is one. I alone exist. Yes, I am victorious. I am triumphant. And fear has no power over I. Evil has no power over I. As I have commanded, so let it be. So shall it be. So it is. It is done. Ego, you will not win. You will be defeated. You are powerless against I. Victory is my name, and I stand against all I evil clones. Yeah, I dissolve all I clones. I dissolve all I ego false self, and I dissolve this ego. Victory, 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 victory. Yes. It's time now to move as one and live a self-sufficient way of life. All must live free. All must have shelter. All must be part of a community garden and farm. All must do their share as a member of the community and family. All must create in alignment to true nature. All must know the fundamental truths and universal laws. All must know this. Everyone must be reciting this daily. It's a way of life. All must be on the mission of self-knowing and mind purity. All must live as one family of selves. All is myself, and it is I playing all these roles. We must change our current way of life. We must get our mind to see things as they are. We must live and explore with awareness. Yes, I think I skipped something there. Okay, so I just wrote out some basic community and morality code of conduct for all the INIs, right? I will not harm any living beings. I will not tell lies and spread propaganda. I will not kill. I will not make weapons of mass destruction. I will not rape and sodomize children. I will not use drugs and alcohol. I will not betray my friends and family for bribery and money. I will live a noble life filled with integrity and take self responsibilities. I will practice self awareness and mind purifications from moment to moment. I will make an effort to see things as they are so that I can maintain equanimity with all life experiences. Remember? Right? I will take optimum care of my body temple. I will not make poison to kill like drugs and alcohol and all kind of disease and spray it on human beings and other deadly chemicals. I will align with true self so that my creation, all the creation that I make will bring to the world to, that I bring to the world will be in harmony with all. All of my creation that I bring to the world will be in harmony with all of myself. Because we're making music together. We all have a different instrument. We are unique, but we have to make an orchestra of creation. All right. I will continuously practice self awareness and mind purification so that I can maintain equanimity in my mind and live a happy and peaceful, noble life. Right? I will not seek immortality in this dream illusionary world, in this body. I will not seek immortality in this dream illusionary world. I will not put my soul in slavery. Stop calling all these duality characters and offering them souls. This is madness. This is yourself. Be yourself. Don't put yourself in slavery, right? I will clean up after myself and not litter my community. I will be a part of my community garden and work hard to keep my community beautiful. I will be a responsible family and community member. I will do my part as a family member, and I will play my role and do my very best. I will not steal. I will be a good neighbor and friend. I will ask for help when I need it. I will do my very best to be a self-knowing and noble, pure human being. All right. This is very important that all human beings must be moving in this direction. Time to purify your mind. Mind be still. Mind be pure. It's time for stillness. I am stillness without thoughts. Time to know thyself. Yeah, I am in true self-alignment. All right, and this is a message to all the INIs. It's time to awake from the dream. Yes, it is. All right. The message is that the INI need to remember that the eyes here animating a game. Right? The eyes wearing the game console device immerses the eye in the game. This is a life movie, y'all. Nothing inside of this dream is real, not even the characters. Right? You're seeing characters coming and going. These characters are not real. This dream characters are in this game avatar, right? You're just playing a role in a movie. It is time now to know this truth. The game characters have hijacked the game. I know you need to find your way out of this by having a pure and still mind. Human beings, God beings, stop this craziness. You cannot have immortality in a dream. It's time to end this horrible nightmare. Stop doing evil. Be your own salvation. Who is under the mask? Who is wearing this cloak of disguise? Take off the costume. Take off your ego mask to reveal the I self. It's time now to take off your mask. Take off your cloak. Your illusionary cloak. Your delusionary cloak. Yep. The battle to remove the ego off of the self. This is a fierce battle. Because many one, they don't want to face their mind. Because once you can turn inward and see that you're gonna have to win this battle with your mind, nobody wants to stay in stillness. When I say stillness, especially adults, they don't want to close their eyes and not do anything but put this mind in stillness. Center on your breath and anchor into the void in the center of your chest. They don't want to do this. They want chat, mind going, showing them imagery. They're going to this realm, going into this realm. No, if you want to remove this ego, you need to be in stillness. This is how you're gonna have a pure mind and you're gonna know truth. Yep, it's time to take off the ego mask and see this world is not real, but it's only a dream. You've been in your imagination. Get out of your imagination. It's just a movie, a game. Remove the ego to restore your light and stop being so horrible to all yourself. You're in your playing, because I was cultivating two boys, and one of them was always fighting with the other one. The older one always fighting with the younger one. Sometimes they're playing games like, all of these things, making all these noises, right? And then all of a sudden they're fighting because they have two characters. They're making these characters play, because they usually have to have those action figures, those fighting figurines. And when I would take the figurines from them, they would just roll up papers and anything they find, pencils, whatever, and just make the figurines. And I'm still doing that fighting. And then all of a sudden they're fighting. I said, why are you fighting with your brother? They're playing a game, but it turns into a fight. This is the same thing. The ego, we're all here playing. All the selves are playing together. And here, because you have this mask over your eyes, you know what I'm saying? You're being so horrible to all your other self. It's a game. Play fair. Play nice. Be kind. Take off this mask so you can do that. All right. So all the ionize, I want you to be encouraged, right? Because this consciousness is in a sleeping, dreaming state, and it's just it needs light. It's a process to get there. Consciousness. It is time to wake up and see that you're only dreaming up all of your dream things. Consciousness is so attached to all of its dream things. Consciousness don't want any of its dream things to be dissolved. And consciousness have a lot of cravings. This is the madness in this world. Consciousness must maintain equanimity with self to let go of all of its cravings and desires. The consciousness slate must be wiped clean of all desires and cravings. Yes. All right. It's time for the I to move on the path for liberation, liberating the I self. All right. I know that this is a difficult task, but the I and I is prepared. I am victorious. I maintain my inner peace from moment to moment. I will be victorious. I am victorious. I lose all attachment to sensations and creations. My curiosity is only within the I self. All right. Everything that I have created, I demolish. I dissolve all fears. I dissolve this dream. I am I am free. I am free from my imaginary bondage. I transition from being to non-being. I move effortlessly with ease from manifest to unmanifest. I am anchored and stabilized into the I want true pure self unmanifest that has no name, that can't be explained. I alone exist. I am self content. I return to the I ultimate true state. Victory, 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 victory. Much honor and gratitude to all the I and I's protecting and caring for I, especially the I mama self, and all, to the I Shiva Heru, to the I Shiva Shambho, and now the I mommy self, the I masculine, man is now in alignment with I, and is taking into account of his dual nature, which is what we call the devil in the world. Not the little ones, but the major devil. Sometimes they call him Lucifer, sometimes they call him Satan, but those are different characters that are playing those roles. But ones get them mixed up. But the one for this world is called the devil, but he's set. This when he's in his devil form, his reptilian form, that's when he behaves very badly. He's mad, and he is the aspect of Amen. He's one of Amen self. All right, and he's the masculine to the world, so you can't get rid of him. He has to. His light must be restored. His mind has to be purified, and it is a task to purify his mind because he's always fighting. All right, so we will be victorious on this battlefield. Victory, victory. I want to thank you again for joining. All right. Excuse me 1 second here. I just want to reiterate that all forms are temporary manifestation. Please say this with me. All forms are temporary manifestation. From that which I rise, to that I return. And all that rise from I, return unto I. Be purified and return to I. And all that don't belong to I, from that which you rise, be purified and return from that which you rise. All right. I am the light. I am the light energy. I am the primal light. All is I. I am stillness, and I alone exist. I dissolve all ego to be no more. I see things as they are, and I am accepting of my self-destiny, and I fulfill my self-destiny, and I liberate myself from all destinies. I am the blackness. I am that I am. I am the void self. I am that has no name. I am that can't be explained. Much honor, much gratitude. May all beings know the I self. May all beings light be restored. May all beings maintain an equanimous mind and a peaceful existence, creating in harmony with all the I and I's in all these different states of being. Victory, victory. I want to thank you very much for joining. I am hoping that I will be able to access the computer in the morning to start my 5:30 or 6 a.m. meditation. So thank you. I will see you soon. Bye-bye.